Hi everyone, today we are going to be talking about interactions between systems for science. Um, you should have done your ReadWorks article right before this called What's the Big Idea About Earth? Now we're going to be learning about those interactions between the systems, and we're going to talk about each of those um, in this presentation in this lesson, okay? So let's get started. So we're going to begin with these two things. So gases, water, rock, and living organisms are all found at Earth's surface. These materials are also found above or below the surface. They interact with each other and may alter each other. Okay, so all these things are found on Earth's surface and below it, and when they interact together, they might change. So, for example, the hydrosphere may cause some of the lithosphere to wash away. And we're going to talk about the different types of spheres today. So, Earth is made of layers. Since the Earth is round, the layers all have the ending sphere. So, a sphere is a shape, okay? It's a 3D shape. If you think of, let's say, a basketball, that's a sphere. A soccer ball is a sphere, okay? The Earth is a sphere, okay? The different parts of the Earth include the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, the lithosphere, and the biosphere. And in the next couple slides, we're going to talk about each of those four Earth systems. And then later on, after you watch this video of the different types of spheres that the Earth is made up of, there are two videos that further explain this, and it's part one is about the geo and the biosphere, and then part two talks about the hydro and the atmosphere, okay? And they're kind of fun videos. I really like the way that she explains it and the graphics that they use to show you about it. All right, first thing we're going to talk about is our atmosphere. So the atmosphere is the thin layer of air, mostly nitrogen and oxygen, that surrounds the Earth. Okay, so mostly air. That is around our Earth. Okay, think of when you look up into the sky, that's our atmosphere. The hydrosphere is all the water on Earth. Okay, so the oceans, lakes, rivers, that is all part of the hydrosphere. I really love this word because hydro or hydrate means water, right? You're hydrating yourself. If someone says, oh, I need to hydrate, that means they need to drink water, right? They need to drink liquids. So this is a great way to remember it. Hydrosphere, water. Okay, the lithosphere is the solid rock part of the Earth, including mountains, valleys, continents, and all of the rock beneath the ocean. So, in the ocean, let's say you dive all the way down to the very bottom of the ocean, okay, that's a very long ways down. Eventually, you're going to hit the bottom of the ocean, which is made up of rock, solid rock, okay? Our mountains, okay, we actually, here in Salt Lake, we live in a valley. So there's mountains that surround us, okay? That's why they call Salt Lake the Salt Lake Valley. And then, of course, if we look to the east of us, and actually here at our school we have a beautiful view of the mountains, okay? If we look to the east of us, we can actually see those mountains, and that is part of our lithosphere. The biosphere is the place on Earth where life exists, okay? So that can include animals, vegetation, organisms that are living in the oceans and in water, sea creatures, birds in the air. Even though birds fly in our atmosphere, that's birds in the air. They are living, okay? I think I said animals. This picture actually shows animals in the ground, which is another great example, okay? So, Bryce Canyon, I want to talk about Bryce Canyon. So, because Earth's layers interact, Earth's surface is constantly changing, okay? Because the wind is constantly moving, it's raining, sometimes there is liquid in the air, okay? So it might be humid, things like that. That is what's changing our Earth all the time. You can see interactions between Earth's systems in Bryce Canyon. So over here off to the right-hand side is actually a picture of Bryce Canyon. It's beautiful. I personally have never been there, which seems crazy. The more I read into it, the more I want to go. So what Bryce Canyon is made up of hoodoos, that's what they're called, okay? And they are spires of soft rock capped with an erosion-resistant rock found in arid regions, okay? So Bryce Canyon is an arid region. Bryce Canyon's rocks formed at sea level in an ancient inland sea that covered most of Utah. So inland means that it was surrounded by land, okay? So it was, at one point, Utah was made up of an ancient inland sea. And that is how Bryce Canyon was formed, which seems crazy because that's happened over millions of years. Uplift moved the rock layers to higher elevations. Because of this, Bryce Canyon has changed a lot over time, okay? And it still is changing, okay? Although sometimes you might go to Bryce Canyon, let's say you go to Bryce Canyon today, it might look the same next week. It's most likely going to look the same next week, right? But in 100 years or 1,000,000 years, it's not going to look the same, okay? And I know it's hard to think that far ahead, but just so you know, it's always changing. Okay, so you are going to go ahead and watch part 1 and 2 about Earth spheres. Part 1 talks about the geo and the biosphere, and that's down below your science activity. And then part 2 talks about the hydro and the atmosphere. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.